Howdy.
Hello. Oh, we've been delving into the Psalms for some comfort and reassurance and all that. And in these times, if you are getting a little comfort and reassurance, or if you know someone who needs some, we'd appreciate it if you would like the video, subscribe, and then share it with other people so that the word gets out.
Yep, that's right. Well, speaking of comfort and assurance, I love this psalm. It's called Assurance of God's Protection. It's Psalm 121.
121,
Yeah,
okay.
this is an old one. I lift my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep you safe. The Lord will keep you going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore.
Forevermore. That's a nice thought. Yeah. So this idea of we often are kind of, I do this, looking for help from something. I'm kind of at the end of my rope, and this psalm is so reassuring because it says, you don't have to look for, where you think. Just trust in the Lord, who created you and maintains you and is there for you all the time. Somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was taught to me or if I just, thought this up, but I had an understanding that God would sort of zip in and out of my life. And, if I really, really needed him, he would show up and do something, and then he'd disappear and kind of not be there. And it also always, it had a feeling of some sort of arbitrariness about God's action in my life. I never knew.
He might show up, he might not.
He might show up, he might not. What the heck is going on here? And what I've come to understand is that God is always there for me. I just have these moments when I'm aware of it, or not aware of it, or aware of it, or not aware of it. And much of the stability, spiritual stability of my life has been cultivating that ability to connect and maintain that connection. God is always there for me. I just don't always see it.
Yeah, he who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber or sleep. The Lord is your keeper. Yeah, all the time. I think about this. I lift my eyes to the hills. Where will my help come from? And when the psalm was written, the hills, the mountains sometimes were gods. And so I look to the mountains as my gods for what I need. Or I look to something else. I look to my smarts. I look to my ingenuity. I look to my family. I look to my stuff,
Your bank balance.
for my protection, to protect me. But it says, and so I look at all this stuff, but where will my help come from? Finally, after I've tried all those things, they don't work. Comes back to my help comes not from them but from the Lord, who made heaven and earth, made it all. All these things, even made my smarts and my competencies and all. But the Lord who made all this stuff, and it gets personal with us. He who watches over you will neither slumber nor sleep. Always, always, always. Not far off or in and out.
In and out,
Constant. God's constant is present, almost like the sound of the air conditioning unit next door.
Yeah, I think about why one of the reasons that I had that attitude about life was because I was so full of shame that the idea of God always being with me was sort of like, oh my gosh, he knows everything, and I will never stand up to the scrutiny. I mean, it's just awful. So I needed to keep God at a certain distance.
Because you didn't want God to see certain things.
I wanted God to know me.
Oh.
And so, I mean, it is a little crazy to think that I could, hide this from God and show him that. But that's the kind of crazy I am. So, but it was that just not trusting that it was okay for me to be
Yeah.
all of me, and to allow God to transform that. We
Yeah.
had a bit last week. We were talking about how, if I give up all my character defects, there won't be anything left. and that's a very real fear for many.
Uh-huh.
If I let down my defenses, if I am completely trusting in God,
Yeah.
then
you won't
I'm
have anything
exposed.
left. But
I'm
here's the cool thing in
exposed.
this. Listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord will keep your life.
Mm-hmm.
He will keep you, your life. It's not going to be lost. It's never lost.
It's never lost.
So things might be reduced. Things that aren't of significance may come and go or fall away. But He's going to keep your life. And you're safe.
You are safe. That's another thing. Just lately, I've been using that as more of a mantra. I am the Lord's. I am safe. And that.
So repeat that
I
10
could,
or 20
I
times.
could write a psalm about
there's-
that.
See, the Psalms are also songs, and I appreciate songs because they kind of drill it into my consciousness more. There's that song, Sunday, that just touched me for All Saints' Day. In heaven above, where God the Father dwells, how endless the blessedness. No tongue its fullness can tell. I mean, face to face and full and free, the ever living God we see the Lord of hosts. But right here in the midst of this life, that God is present with me. The God of glory and power, and who's wrapping things up eventually, is also my keeper, my protector.
Rather wonderful.
Now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep.
And He does. Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
It is cool.
Well, would you mind praying for us?
I'd be glad to. Oh, Holy One, we are content to rest in You, to bring You with us every day and into every situation in our awareness, and to trust that all is well in You. In the name of the Christ, amen.
Amen.